Today in Diddy's trial, one of the most shocking things that came out of the trial today was Cassie's mom testimony about a loan she had to take out in order to pay for Cassie's safety. So, Regina Ventura, Cassie's mom, took the stand today and she testified to several things. She testified of course, of being aware of the abuse. She had pictures that she had taken of the bruises that were on Cassie due to some of the assaults. She testified about a time where she called the police because Diddy had taken Cassie's phone and they had also gotten into a bitter argument at her apartment. So she called the police. And she testified about Cassie sending her a message and telling her that Diddy was demanding that they pay $20,000 in order for him to recoup losses that he felt he had encountered because of her relationship with Kid Cudi. And if he didn't get that money, he was threatening to release some of the sex tapes with her on it. So Cassie's mom, in the interest of trying to protect her daughter, her safety, and that exposure, and everything else you could imagine, took out a loan in order to pay this millionaire, Diddy, who was abusing her daughter, doing all kinds of things with her daughter. Whether I know a lot of people are on the fence about the freak offs, whether some of them were consensual, some of them were not. But one thing in there should definitely not be any kind of debate about is the domestic violence. Because, come on, we got the video to prove it. That's not even debatable. But with all of that going on, this man had the audacity and the evil streak within him to threaten not only Cassie with the release of these tapes allegedly, but also went to her parents and demanded $20,000. And Cassie's mom took out a loan in order to pay Diddy this money, the millionaire. Okay. That was shocking. And I could tell you during this part of the testimony today, the defense did not cross examine Cassie's mom at all, which was smart, in my opinion. And when the testimony was going on, and I'm reading through a feed on X where a reporter is kind of trying to put in as best he can what's happening in the moment, verbatim what people are saying. I was just so shocked when I first saw that, but then I kind of said, okay, wait. Cross has got to come, and maybe when Cassie sent the message to her mom about the $20,000, maybe that wasn't really Diddy requesting the money or demanding the money or blackmailing these people for $20,000, and he's a flipping millionaire. He shouldn't be demanding it. Okay, I'm trying to rationalize it, right? Not that Diddy's a good person and is not capable of any kind of horrendous thing you could think of, but just thinking, Diddy the millionaire, the baller, short collar, the stunting on everybody and everything, and private jets and mansions, went to these people and asked them, not asked them, demanded $20,000 or else. So I said, wait, let's wait for Cross from the defense. Maybe there's some type of evidence to show that Cassie did write her mother this note, but she was just trying to really get this $20,000 because perhaps she was in dire straits because Cassie had testified that when Diddy was upset with her, he would take things. So I thought, well, maybe that's what was happening. Just trying to consider what else might be true because, as we go through this process with this trial, we get one side, but we also have to hear the other side and then try to figure out where we landed with what we heard. The defense did not cross examine Cassie's mom at all, and that told me everything I needed to know. That told me everything I needed to know. that Diddy did do this. And from what I understand, he later wired the money back to the family. But so what? So I'm going to share with you all a Rolling Stones article that goes into a bit more detail about what was happening at that time. And I think it may even provide more detail, very specific to everything that was going on around the $20,000 that Cassie's mom had to pay Diddy in order to try to keep her safe and in order to prevent those videos from going out. So, as we see here, Sean Combs demanded $20,000 from Cassie's mom after learning about the Kid Cudi relationship. The quote from Cassie's mom on the stand today was, "He was trying to hurt my daughter." Okay. Regina Ventura, mother of Cassandra Cassie Ventura, said that while Sean Combs was fuming over Cassie's relationship with Kid Cudi, the mogul demanded Regina pay him $20,000 to recoup money he'd spent on Cassie's career. Wow. Just when you think, I mean, let me just keep reading. Wow. So while testifying at Combs' sex trafficking trial Tuesday, Regina was asked to recall a letter Cassie sent her in December 2011, which Cassie also discussed during her own testimony last week. In the letter, Cassie told her mother that Combs was threatening to release videos from their freak-offs after learning about her relationship with Cudi, real name Scott Mescudi. Cassie also told her mother that Combs was threatening to have someone hurt her and Miss Cuddy, with Combs allegedly saying he would be out of the country when it happened. Recalling how she felt reading the letter, Regina said, "I was physically sick. I did not understand it. The sex tape threw me. He was trying to hurt my daughter." Around the same time Regina testified, Combs contacted her and asked for the $20,000. Regina said that she and her husband took out a home equity loan to pay the mogul. "That's the only way we could get the money," Regina said, adding that she went through with the request because she was scared about my daughter's safety, end of quote, and because Combs demanded it. Regina said that she wired the money to a bad boy account per instructions from Combs's bookkeeper. And about 5 days later, she said the money was returned to her account. She did not have any further communication with Combs about the money. Regina spent no more than 40 minutes testifying Tuesday, with Combs's defense notably declining to cross examine her. After the prosecution finished their line of questioning, Combs' defense attorney, Mark Agnafilo, greeted Regina before saying, "I don't have any questions for you." This is the first witness in the case so far that the defense has not cross examined. While Combs has often been active and engaged during the trial, exchanging confidences with attorneys and turning to look at witnesses as they enter the courtroom, he avoided looking at Regina when she passed by him on the way to the stand. And as Regina left the courtroom and she tried to make eye contact with Combs, who continued to ignore her. Elsewhere during the testimony, Regina spoke about photos she took of her daughter in December 2011 after Combs had allegedly assaulted her. This was the first time, Regina said, that Cassie had told her about Combs being physically violent with her. Regina recalled of the photos, quote, "She was bruised and I wanted to make sure that we memorialized it." Near the end of her brief time on the stand, Regina also testified about a bitter argument she had with Combs in August 2016 while visiting her daughter in Los Angeles for her 30th birthday. The argument, Regina said, erupted outside of Cassie's apartment after Combs allegedly stole Cassie's phone. We were arguing about the phone. I wanted the phone back and he was holding it. Regina said, nothing, noting that one of Combs's bodyguards was standing between them. Regina said, I was yelling, screaming, and trying to hit him, but I wasn't successful. Eventually, Regina said, Combs relinquished the phone, but then left in Cassie's car. While on the stand last week, Cassie testified that along with threatening to release the explicit videos of her and hurt her and Muscati, Combs allegedly discussed blowing up Muscati's car and wanting Muscati's friends to see the explosion. In 2012, a Porsche owned by Muscati was set on fire by an incendiary device. As a contemporaneous police report put it. And Muscati himself previously shared the statement with the New York Times, confirming that his car had exploded. Tuesday began with the continued. Okay, so then we go in just to more of what happened during the day. The fact that Diddy contacted Cassie's parents and demanded $20,000 in order not to release sex tapes, in order for him to recoup money he felt he had wasted on Cassie's career, all because he was upset that she was in whatever kind of situation with Kid Cudi, is wild. The fact that these people had to take out a home equity loan to send this money based off of the instructions they received from Diddy's bookkeeper. These are the little things that might not look like on the front of it that they are connected to like a criminal organization, but it is. I just thought this was outlandish. And to me, it is even more disturbing that even after this, Cassie and this man still stayed together for years. There's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of debate about it. But that just blew my mind. That, the millionaire at a minimum, I don't know if he was a billionaire at that point in time, but he was most certainly a millionaire, went to Cassie's parents and blackmailed them for $20,000, or else he was going to do these things that he had threatened. And I'll end with this. The fact that the defense attorneys did not cross her at all, of course, was smart. What were you gonna do? What were you gonna ask her? What kind of answers were you possibly going to get that would not actually hurt your case more? But I can tell you, I know how I felt just reading what was happening. So I can only imagine how this testimony from Cassie's mother about them having to take out these everyday working people, having to take out a $20,000 equity loan on their home to send to this millionaire mogul who was actually abusing their daughter at the time in order to try to protect her, to keep her safe as they could. Do you know how that had to resonate with that jury? And I honestly think this particular moment will be one of the most significant nails that will be a part of sealing Diddy's fate, sealing his coffin in this case. Thank you guys for watching. Please thumbs up the video. Please leave your comment. Hey, if you see it differently, let me know. Let's talk about it in the comments. I would love to know what is your take on it. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate your support. And until the next time, bye.